Hello everyone, my name is Alex and today I'm going to be talking about why documentation is important in early childhood education. A good question to start with is, what is documentation? Documentation is the practice of recording and creating evidence of learning and learning processes. Documentation takes children, educators' ideas and experience that educators observe, hear, and feel into written or other records that they can share or look at back on over time. Documentation can incorporate multiple perspectives. So it's not just the teacher's perspective, it's the peers' perspective, the families, and other professionals. A lot of kids in my placement have speech therapists, or some of them have their therapists, or some of them have independent learning programs. And those people are always sharing their documentation with the educator. They're sharing what they think, what their feedback, what can help them, what they think will help the child, and they're sharing it with the educator so the educator can incorporate into their documentation. Keep an eye on it, write down if they see a change in their behavior, change in anything by doing these things that they suggest. So I've been into 3 different placements over the past 2 years, and I've noticed that most documentation that's being done is taking pictures. I see iPads. They're always using the iPads to take pictures of the children, take pictures of the activities they're doing, them playing outside, what they made. Some of them are like pictures with their friends, like what they made together with their friends. And I've also noticed that they do also have like meetings once a month to talk about their documentations, to talk about the curriculum, talk about how they can improve it, what maybe the children struggled on, talk about like how they can improve the curriculum, how they could change it. My one placement, their curriculum was all about this book that they had read, and it was an infant classroom, and it was all about, this book was about the sound of objects. The sound of objects, and the one was a blue dot, and the blue dot sound was oh. So they had these little blue dots all over the classroom, and they would let the children basically take care of the blue dot, and it was all about how the children took care of it, what they did with it, and they would always be writing down, oh, little Timmy was eating lunch with the blue dot today, and they would have a picture with it, and they would have like a little paragraph about what he did with it, and they would also let the children take them home with them, and the parents would take pictures and like write down what they did with him on the weekend, like the dot on the weekend, and they would bring it back to the daycare, and they would let all the children see it and look at the pictures and all of that. I do notice that some educators don't document everything. They don't write anything down, but they kind of just like remember things. I know that my mentor, she doesn't write anything down. I've never seen her write anything down, but she knows the child. She connects with the child. She observes the child. She knows that some children don't like certain things, or some children are really emotional, or some children struggle with their alphabet or their numbers, and so she takes the time to sit with them, help them when they're trying to write out a sentence. So she'll sit with them and hold a page and be like, with all the letters, I'm gonna be like, sound out the words for them, point to the letters, like help them. But she doesn't document it always. She just like, she knows the child. Like, she remembers the things. Then there are other educators who take pictures. So the placement I'm in, there's 2 different educators. So there's the one that doesn't write anything down, doesn't really document anything, but then there's the other educator who is always taking pictures. She's always writing little things down on sticky notes, like making jots, making like little jot notes. So, and she prints out pictures, she puts them on the bulletin board so like parents can see, and she sends pictures home with the kids sometimes so parents can see what they did. They also have a Google Classroom, and most of the time she'll post pictures of their creations that they made. some people who like make some of the kids will make like little Lego creations, and they'll be like, "Oh, take a picture of me, take a picture," and you'll take a picture of them, and then she'll post it on the Google Classroom, be like, "Oh, Anthony and Sarah made this today." Um, yeah, so it's a lot of like it's. I feel like it depends on the person's preference on how they want to document. I know I've learned through placement is I really like writing things down. I like to write about my day, write about what I've seen, write about um what happened with the children, what they did, how some reacted, how some didn't react. Like um I always consider, like, especially with planning activities, like if I do one activity, I'll write how that one went, and then I'll put the positives and the negatives. And if the negative is like not every child was able to do it, not every child was learning at the same level, not every child knew their alphabet or their letters, not every child knew their numbers, I'll think about that the next time I do an activity, and I will use that documentation and the pictures that I took and be like, that's right, I need to make two different levels and make two separate kind of activities, but they're still similar. But the easier one would be to help the children who aren't at the same level as the other child. And that's okay. Every child learns differently. Well, I think that documentation is a very important thing. I think that it is worth every educator's time, and every educator should be doing it. I think that it's important to know the children, know how they learn, know what their struggles are. I believe that um, early childhood educators should always be doing documentation, should always be taking pictures, should always be updating the families and showing them what they did today. It just makes the families feel good and important to know that their child is succeeding, and they know what they need to help the child with to improve. It's extremely important. I think documentation is very important in this field, and that every educator should be doing it. It's very important. But thanks for listening to my TED Talk.